Hi there, this is Tracy Gillis. I am here live with Totally Trace, and I'm sorry, I'm getting notifications like crazy on my phone and computer, so I'm getting distracted. All right, but my focus is here with you for my monthly free card class. The first Wednesday of every month, I do a free card class. And for those of you on my email list, I send out the measurements to you in advance. And then I also always have it on my Facebook page as an event too. But I do have the measurements here for you, so it's not too late to join. What you'll need, well, I guess let me back up for a minute. So I do this every month, and I share a template that's easy to make no matter what crafting supplies you have. And then I'm going to make 4 cards using all the same measurements, but they're going to look totally different. And my goal is that you are making them with me. Okay, so I'm going to make 4. You only have to make 1. If you want to make more, that's great. But the goal is that you make 1 card following these measurements, and then all 4 that I make are going to be different. So hopefully you'll get some inspiration. So for this month, you're going to need colored cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5. And by the way, this is all inches. So I'm sorry for my metric friends, you will have to convert, but it is inches, and you're going to score that the long side at 4 1/4. You're going to need 4 pieces of designer series paper, and you want them to coordinate. I say that loosely because you're going to see that that's not necessary, but you don't want them to be completely different from each other. All of mine are coming from the same designer series paper. Each piece is going to be 1 by 4 inches. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of white cardstock. You're going to need one that's 5 1/4 by 4 and one that's 5 by 3.5. So I'm going to give you just a minute to get those ready. I see lots of you popping in. It's looking like it's going to be difficult today and not show me comments. So let me just refresh here and see if I can fix that. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe if I click here. There we go. Oh, but I've got sound on. Okay, now I should be able to see your comments. So I would love for you to say hi. Tell me where you're watching from. I will try and keep up. Like, hi, Gail, I see that you're with me. Anybody else, pop in. And then, of course, if you're making a card, let me know that too and what supplies you're using, because it's always fun to hear the different things. And then also yesterday, all new online exclusives are out. So I will be giving you 2 sneak peeks of that. All right, so I'm going to get started. And the first card that I'm making is going to use new online exclusive. All right, I got to get my paper. Remember, this is all new to me too. So, all right, this first one, I'm using the designer series paper called Homemade Sweetness. Oh yeah, Gail's here. I was wondering, Gail normally catches the replay of this. She says no choir today, so she's able to join me live. All right, so Homemade Sweetness. This paper is so cute, filled with fruits, jellies, jams. I just bought the paper. There is stamps that coordinate with this, and there's dies that coordinate with this. And of course, I'm already regretting not getting it. Because you can make some fun folds, but I'm going to work with just the paper today. So hi, Anne. Hi, Rachel. All right, so I'm using Misty Moonlight, and I have 5.5 by 8.5, and I've just scored it at 4 1/4. And then I've got my 4 pieces of designer series paper that are all 1 inch by 4 inch. And then I have my 2 sheets of white cardstock, 5 1/4 by 4 and 5 by 3.5. All right, so I'm going to start with the larger piece, and I'm just going to lay these across. So this is my mat. You're going to line it all the way to the top. I love this blue and white checkered. All right, so I'm going to lay 3 of them, just leaving about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to leave that blank there, and that's where I'm going to put my sentiment. So this layout is super easy and super fast. So you're going to be able to make cards quickly with this. You're going to be able to use scraps for this. So pull out those scraps to work on it. All right, now we're going to put a sentiment right here. So the best sentiment that you can use is one of those big chunky sentiments. So I pulled out Fabulous Sayings. This was the product of the month last month, and these sayings are gigantic, which is great for this card. Remember, product of the month, you can get the product of the month for $5 with a $75 order. And I just checked, this one is still available. Now, a new one came out yesterday that's super cute. It's called Notes of Spring, I think, and it is really cute, but this one is still available. You can get both, of course, but you'd have to place two $75 orders to do that. All right. So let's see. Again, any of these chunky, so you can see Happy Birthday would fit in there. Sending Love fits in there. You can do anything fits in there. There are simply no words for this. This is a bright, cheery one, so I think I'm going to use Happy Birthday. All right. And then I'm going to use Misty Moonlight ink. If I can find that. I rearranged where my inks go. I haven't decided if I like it or not. All right, so we're just going to ink this up. And then I'm just going to kind of move these a little bit out of the way and try and get this straight. And then, let's see how I did. Oh, I might have gone a little high. Oh, I might have gone a lot high. But guess what? That's why this paper's two-sided. Let's try that again. Not that I've ever made that mistake before and know that little trick. That just came to me. All right. I do have a camera in my face, so it makes it a little bit difficult. All right, now let's see. That looks like that'll be better. I did tell you that this stamp is very large. Yeah, see, look, it fits perfectly in there. Okay, so that's what I want. So now we're just going to glue all that down. All right, Gail says I have a lot of room on my white piece of paper. That's for by 5 1/4. Okay, so Gail, I think you're talking about this white paper is 5 1/4 by 4. And then these are 1 by 4. And so you want your scraps to line all the way up to the edge, both the top and the bottom, and then the left and the right. Yes, 4 by 5 1/4. All right. And I'm going to put my top one on next because that will kind of give me an idea of how much space I need to make between my other piece. I'm just going to eyeball that real quick. Yep, that looks good. Diane says, oops, I'm late. You're not late. Perfect timing. I'm still on card number 1. And I know you were working on that Easter Joy class. Hi, Tracy. Welcome. Watching from work. What do you do? Don't worry, we won't tell. All right, this is going to get glued onto the card base. And then this is going to go as that white piece in the middle. So this is the smaller of the two white pieces. All right, so the first card, I only did the cardstock, the designer series paper, and a stamp. Super easy, super cute. Again, this is using that new homemade sweetness. Handmade, homemade. I think homemade. Homemade sweetness. Okay. Tracy, I think you've told me that before, that you're a 911 dispatcher. Lynn says, looks fresh, cute. Yes, like this looks so summery to me. And there's those ladybug gems. Like, think how cute those would look on here. So you could definitely jazz this up. In fact, the next one I'll jazz up a little bit more. And again, this fabulous saying stamp set, any of those sayings are going to fit right in there. And then if you have a stamp set that is that big, you don't have to put anything else on there. But I'm going to show you how you can use a smaller stamp set too. All right. Okay, let's move on to card number 2. So I'll bring these measurements back out. So again, all 4 cards that I make are going to use this, and hopefully you are doing it too. So colored cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So let me pull out my next one. Okay, so for this one, I've got Lost Lagoon at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. 4 pieces of designer series paper. These are all 1 inch by 4 inch. And these are coming from, now this one you would think I remember, Something Illusions, Optical Illusions. This, I think someone can correct me in the comments. This is another product of the month. It's last month's, February. So again, still available. I love this paper. And what I'm finding is that it depends how I use it and what background I use, because it goes with so many different colors. Sometimes it looks very subtle, spring, baby cards, and then sometimes it's very bright and vibrant. I did just pull out, I thought I pulled out 2, but I'm only seeing 1. There's the other one. So for example, like look, this one is very subtle looking, and it's using this paper. And then this is much more bright and tropical looking. Again, product of the month, which means you can get it for $5 for only $75. Oh, Diane says good. She needs to see some cards made with that. Yes, and hopefully I'll have some more coming out. And then, of course, if you get the product of the month and I have made cards with it, I send you the PDF tutorial for it. And then I know I've got some team members on here too, so you'll get those to you for free as well. All right, so let me get that out of the way. And then what else do we have in here? All right, white cardstock, 5 1/4 by 4. And then the other piece is 5 by 3.5. And then I'm pairing this with Greenery Lane. Okay, so that's this stamp set. And it has these great die cuts. So it die cuts the washi tape for those of you that have that, but it also die cuts the stamps. And then it has just some good stem ones too that coordinate with stamps, but I like to use them just as a stem. And I'm going to do that today. All right, so this one I'm going to change it up a little bit. So again, I'm using that bigger piece of white, the 5 1/4 by 4, and that's going to be my mat. And we're just going to play to see how we want this. Because this time I'm going to flip it upside down. Okay, I think I like it like that. And then this stamp set also has a really large, chunky one. It says, wishing you well. So I'm doing that. So see how that's gonna fit right in there. And then I'm gonna use, I'll use Lost Lagoon ink, but then I want to show you, I'm gonna jazz this one up just a little bit. So I pulled out this stem, and that is this die cut. And then I've got the Baker's Twine, and this is part of that, I think it's called the Baker's Twine Essentials Pack. It comes with a white, black, crumb cake. It's got 4 or 5 different, and this is just one of those that you want to have because you can put twine on any card. Again, it's called an essential because it is an essential. And I think, so new catalog comes out for demonstrators this month, for everybody else in May, and I believe that price is going up. So I just ordered some more. All right, let me find that Lost Lagoon ink. And we'll ink this up. And I know last time I did not do a good job of stamping it in the right spot. So I'm gonna leave this top one here and get these out of the way. And again, if I mess it up, I've got a backside of the card. All right, so wishing you well. And let's see if everything still looks right before I start gluing down. All right, just like that. So again, this month I went super easy, super fast cards. Anybody can do this one. I mean, I think anyone can do any month, but I really limited the die cuts, the blings, because I wanted to show you these cards can be really cute without all that stuff. And then of course, if you are somebody that likes to add all that, the way that you could kind of level up this card is instead of putting your sentiment there, you could put another sheet of designer series paper, so another 1x4, and then have fun with all your die cuts. So maybe doing like the circle label and stamping on that right over the middle. Okay, and then I'm gonna pop this guy up a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna use glue dots. That'll give it a little bit of lift without it being too much. So I'm just gonna put these on the back. And I just put it, when it's a stem, I just put it in a few spots because then the rest of the leaves will still like they'll have some movement. They'll still be able to stand up. Oops, stuck to my finger, and then we'll just lay that down. And then same thing with this bow. Lynn says nice and easy is great. Yes, Lynn, I'm going to need you in my life constantly reminding me of that. I appreciate it every time you say that. Lynn knows that I feel the pressure sometimes to do all these crazy things to show you something you've never seen before, and that's hard to do day in and day out. Okay, and then this is going to go in the middle. And again, if you just wanted to dress up the middle, sorry, I was kind of looking at what I have here. You can, so we can stamp again on the inside. So I'm going to just keep using Greenery Lane. That's the same stamp set and bundle I use for the Wishing You Well and for that die cut. So I can put Love and Hugs in the center. And then I love this stem, so I'm going to use this stem. Oh, actually, I still want it in Lost Lagoon. And I'm going to use the Stampin' Off technique. The two different ways of that as well. So I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp it on some scrap. And then I'm going to stamp it again so it comes out as a lighter color. And then, of course, you can do that as many times as you'd like. Just if you want to add a little bit extra in the middle. So now I'm going to glue this down. And there is card number 2 using those measurements. Okay. All right, let me get this cleaned up. So is anybody out there actually crafting right now? Are you trying to make a card? Like Diane, I know you've got the Easter suite out, which I think is the card. No, that's the last card. I'm going to make a card with that using this. Gail, I know you've been using lovely arrangements. I would love to see how those cards look like with these, with those particular ones. Diane says, such a pretty card. Yep, gotta love Stampin' Up some paper. They make it so easy to make nice cards. Okay, before I go into card 3, 2 things. I'm just going to put these measurements back out here for you so you can see them. And then you also might have noticed I have trace treasures there. Every month I have different treasures for when you shop with me. And Gail says she's trying to make a card. So every month I have the trace treasures. And then once a year I do my biggest trace treasure. And it's typically in March. So this year it is in March. And what it is I give you things out of my stash that are retired. But you get a mystery pack in the mail. So it's always fun to get the free stuff in the mail and not knowing what it's going to be, but I promise it's good stuff. So if you spend $50, I'm going to spend you $30 worth of good things in a mystery pack. If you spend $100 in my store, you are going to get $70 worth of products from me. $150, I'm going to send you $120. So the more you spend, the more I'm going to send you. Spend $300, I'm going to send you $250 worth of things. So it could be stamps, it could be embossing folders, it could be designer series paper, it could be card kits, it could be ribbon embellishments, if I didn't say that already. I'm trying to think what I've said and what I haven't said. So mystery, you won't know what to get. You'll just get a nice package of Happy Mail. So if you are shopping, which I'm sure you're seeing things that you love right now, and plus there's new stuff out in my online store, just click on the link in the comments. All right, next, let's see what we're going to make. Oh, for a second, I thought I lost my envelopes. Yes. Okay, speaking of things that you're going to love, I haven't played with this a lot yet, but I think it's going to be one that I absolutely love. So this is the Delicate Whisper Specialty Designer Series paper. And it has, what's the color I'm looking for? The earth, it's like a bronze color. Stampin' Up! Called it something. They had a foil paper that's still available out, but it's that color. Like the earthen, oh, there we go. That's got some good shine. So this is called, I think the paper is Delicate Dreams and the stamps are Delicate Whispers. And I'll show you that in a minute. And then it also happens to have a sneak peek of, this is a new in color coming out, Hydrangea Hue. So that's the front side of that paper. And then this is the back side of the paper. So beautiful paper. And then let me show you the stamps. So yeah, the stamps are Delicate Whispers. So it is very delicate and dainty, which is not something that I tend to go for stamp-wise. So I can't wait to play because it'll be a challenge for me, but this paper will not be a challenge. So I thought I can handle it. And then the dies that coordinate with it. Oh. So you can tell I haven't played with it. I don't even have it in my on my magnet sheet yet. Tons of little delicate pieces, and then it also die cuts out some of the stamps. So that's what I'm using next. I forgot to check this morning, but again, only demonstrators have been able to order it. And as of last week, as of earlier this week, maybe even yesterday, the paper was still there, but just from demonstrators ordering, the stamps and the dies were sold out. So don't worry, if it is something you want, when you are logged into Stampin' Up, you just click on the bundle and you can click like notify me when this is back in stock so that you know. And I can't remember if they even said when it was going to be back in stock. All right, so let me show you what I have here. So this time I'm using Secret C, which of course I love this paper. It has Secret C, my favorite color. So 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then 4 pieces of the Designer Series paper. So I pulled out these, but we'll see if those are the ones I use or if I flip them over. And then these are 2 different dies that are part of that set. Like, look how, I mean, delicate is right. Super delicate. And then I'm going to stamp this. I love this stamp. I have no idea what these are. You'll be able to tell me. I don't know my plants. Some type of bronze. I don't know. Probably not even that. I'm going to stamp it in crumb cake. I guess I didn't need that large of a piece of paper. See, look how pretty that is. And then, of course, there's a coordinating die that will cut that right out for you. And so I have already done that. So here is that piece. All right, so now let's get these laid out. I love when I like the B side, the more neutral side, because I tend to always use the A side, but I love that paper. And then this, with all the texture that this one has, hopefully that's coming through on camera. Oh, yes, Diane, wheat. That makes sense. Oh, no, I don't want that one. I want to use all this. This one looks more, the paper is not directional, but you can see when I cut out just a piece, it looks a little directional, but that's okay. I think I like it just like that. Let's see. Oh, no, maybe I like it like that better. Again, I could sit here and rearrange them all day, so I'm just gonna go with that. And then I'm gonna put thank you kindly. But I'm gonna show you something fun. Now again, I used some directional, so I'm not going to do it with this, but what I could have done, so this stamp right here that says, hope you feel your best soon. Notice that the words, that's probably not showing up. That might show up a little bit better. The words are going vertically, so you could do it like that. I'm not going to, because again, that one would look sideways. So if you're using directional paper, make sure you're paying attention to that. All right, but I am going to put this here. Let's see, my wheat, thanks Diane, looks like it probably needs to be on that side. So I'm going to stamp my stamp over there. And I think I'm going to use Secret C. And look at that font. I always like a font where part of it is cursive, part of it is not, like it where it has two different fonts in the same sentiment. All right, we're just going to glue these down. Again, they're going to go all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom. So you're using this as a mat. It's not necessarily a frame. And I'm really excited to get this hydrangea hue. I'm loving this color. It's a blue, but almost a purple. And it looks amazing with Secret C. All right, let me pull this down. The camera is not letting me see that. There we go. And then again, I did pull out these. So I was thinking just to add a little color. I think 2 of them is too much. Nope, don't like it there. Again, I warn you, I can sit here and play all day. I think I like it there. Oh, I don't like it in front. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down first. All right, and then now that I'm doing this, this is a super delicate, dainty one. So this is one where it'd be probably good for you to have your silicone mat out. But of course, I'm going to choose just to make a mess instead. So I'm thinking right about there. And then this I'll pop up. And then we'll glue this to the card base. Yeah, that Secret C just makes the whole thing pop. This has really nice, in this suite, has really nice matte dots too that are super flat. So I really like those too. I did not pull those out for this though. And then I don't think I'm going to do anything for the inside. But again, if you have an extra scrap, like stick that on here, because especially since you have all the stripes, it'd be fun to put the one that's missing right here, to put that here on the inside of the card. All right, card number 3. I can tell it's card number 3 because every time I finish with stuff, I'm just throwing it behind me, and the table behind me is a mess right now. All right, so again, free card class. I'm giving you the measurements, showing you what you can do with one template, several designs. I am going to make 4, so there's 3 of the 4. They all look completely different, yet all have the same measurements. Oh, thanks, Diane. She says that's so pretty too. Yeah, I've had the paper of this for, I don't know, 2 weeks probably. And I have not had the time to play with it the way I would like to, and it's just killing me because it's so pretty. So I have that on my list to do this weekend. All right. And we'll just throw that back on the table too. All right, my last one. Of course, I have to use the Easter Joy bundle. So let's pull that out for you. So 12 by 12 paper. This is another specialty one. It does have the shine in it, and the texture is different too. It's super thick and it's slick as well. So there is the one side, and then here's your more neutral side. And then the Easter basket bundle is what pairs with it. And so you've got these cute bunnies, the Easter sayings, and then of course all these dies. You can make Easter baskets. I'll show you some samples with this too. I didn't pull out all my samples. I just pulled out what is part of the class. So I do have a card class using the suite, and I'll show you the cards that go with that in a minute, and I'll tell you how you can get your kit for it. All right, but back to our template. So this time my card base is crumb cake, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I pulled out 4 pieces of the designer series paper. They're each 1 inch by 4 inch. And then white cardstock, I've got 2. I've got the bigger one, 5 1/4 by 4, and then 5 by 3.5. So that smaller one is going to be your inside piece. And you can see I think I've got these laid out the way I want them. Let's see. Okay, so something like this. Oh, and by the way, Diane's asking, where did I get the magnet sheets? I got them right off Amazon. When I'm done, I'll send you the link. I'll respond right to your comments so other people can see it. But yes, I love them right from Amazon, and they fit perfectly in the old packaging and the new packaging of stamps. So that's important. Okay, so little secret about this one is that all these are 1 by 4, except for this one. I think this one is 7/8 or something. Nobody's going to know. This is truly a scrap, and these scraps came from the Easter class that I did, the kit. So if you have that kit, you will have these scraps that you can make this card. So that's going to go there. And then let's see. We're going to use, I already pulled out the stamps. We're going to use Happy Easter. And then I was making all the cards with like the, you know, the pinks and the blues and the shy shamrock. And the backside had the crumb cake. And I thought, why did they put crumb cake in this? I don't know if that really fits. But look at it. Like, doesn't it all look cute together? I feel like it just kind of mutes it and makes it a little bit, I don't know, more sophisticated. So now I got to think, do I want my Happy Easter to be crumb cake? Sure, let's try it. I can flip it over if I don't like it. So our last card used crumb cake, and this uses crumb cake. All right, I am going to stamp off to the side because for this one, we're going to add some, we're going to add a little Easter bunny. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm sold on that, but I'll wait till it all comes together. So in this, you do have 2 Easter bunnies. I think this guy is adorable, so he's the one I've used the most. And then I'm going to stamp him with Secret C. I hardly use my Memento Black at all anymore. I use Secret C for almost everything. Look how he's so stinking cute. All right, and then we're going to color. So I'm going to use crumb cake to color him. And then I'm also going to use Bubble Bath ink. I'm using the light of both. And I go quiet. It's like instant calming when I color. And then of course you could have a little mini cotton ball and glue it right there, or rip part of a cotton ball off if you wanted. I did not think of that in advance, so I won't do that this time. And then there is a die that fits perfectly for him as well. So just like the wheat on the last card, you just line it up right like that and run that through an embossing machine. I've already done that, so look how cute he is. I did do a little bit of shading and highlighting on there, which I didn't show you on this one. But so I'm just going to put him right there. Okay, now that he's there, I think I am okay with the crumb cake. Yes, I think I do like the crumb cake. So I'm going to start gluing down, and then I'll show you some other things that you can do with this Easter bunny, just in case you haven't been following me and seeing. Come on. Oh, I'm like, someone is texting me about magnetic sheets. I'll have to check it out. Gail is sending me Amazon links. So Diane, I'm sure that's for you. I wonder if she's saying she loves them. So I wonder if she uses a different one than I do. Actually, I think she has shown me. I think hers are ones that she keeps separate from her case, now that I think about it. All right, and then we're going to glue this. And we're going to pop this little guy up. These aren't cut for me. Linda, I see that you've popped on. You've been quiet tonight. Glad you could make it. All right. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, I might have killed my glue. There we go. Okay, now what I should have done is I should have stamped the little chick, because the little chick is really cute too. All right, so, oh, I said I was going to show you a little secret with this guy. So let me find, all right, here. So these cards are part of the Easter kit. The link to get this, so you'll get all the supplies to make these cards. You will need the stamps and inks yourself though, to finish the card. So you can either use whatever you have, or if you want them to look exactly like I have them, make sure you have the stamps or inks, or you can add it on when you get the kit, but that's in the comments. So if you see, I cut around here so that he can hold a carrot. So that's this guy, and you just cut it and add the carrot. So there's one of the cards. This one, which I haven't seen Julie on here, but she was just commenting that this was her favorite of the 5. And so this, we make this fun fold. And if you're like, I already have all this stuff, also the PDF, or if you're outside the United States, I can't send you the kit, but I can send you the PDF. So you can click on the link for that too. So those are the 5 cards. And then of course you'll make a cute little Easter basket. All right, so that is March's free card class. I hope you love the cards. I hope that you will make your own version. And then remember, I always post a picture with these 4 cards, and I would love for you to comment with cards that you made. So if you use this template, please post it. I would love to see that. And then if there's any supplies that you loved here and you would like those, remember you can earn Trace Treasures the whole month of March. You will just make sure you click on the link that is in the comments, and I will, the more you spend, the more I will send you as mystery mail. All right, thanks, Diane. She says, beautiful. I will see everybody. Let's see, I think I'm live on Saturday with the demonstration, and Wednesday of next week as well. I do have this class using this paper. I couldn't even tell you. I should have looked it up, but that's coming up too. Gail says, awesome. Thanks so much. Thank you, Gail. All right, I will see all of you next time.